Twilight Zone. So here we have the it's the exact same train that left me behind this morning. 1634. It's just like the Twilight. It's like the Matrix. Someone sitting there. Hello, Justin. Thank you for liking the stream. Yep. The train should be leaving soon. Got the whole train to myself, considering that it's 9:18. No, but that's not 16:16. It is 15:15. 16:16. I think I might take this train out of service. Maybe it's 15:15. There's nothing wrong with the train. I think that train might be going out of service to the yard. Yep, 16-16 is still in time, I'll presume. Yeah, doors will close and reopen. We'll not be trained afterwards. Hello, Nafis. Welcome aboard. Got the whole entire subway car to myself. Time to go. Oh, that's cool, Nafis. Glad they enjoy the fried chicken. Guess, like I said, we might be a little bit too late. Yep, I think the operator is running a bit late. Yep, should be moving by now. Alright, finally time to go now. This train will leave in 18 minutes. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Maybe. I think considering that all the new trains are running on the asphalt line, then that could be a possibility. Alright, now we're going faster a little bit. 25 miles per hour. Then we're heading back down to 10. Yes, the Celtics are. There goes an 1800s going by. Ah, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a third track over here. Started running in 1993 because of the new 1800s. Only time will tell of when these will start running on the Braintree. Probably because of too much wear and tear in them. So Nafis, when did the 1800s first enter service? Okay, so they retired them early. So from a brief period from 93 to 94, there's only been 16s, 15s, and 17s in the Braintree branch. Just like the 70s. Nice. I do agree, Maclam, that the 1800s sounds very similar to the 1000 series. I heard those tracks and motors before. Amazing. And should have left those like habits common and it's like prone to vandalism. They should have left that cabin. Now we're entering Quincy Adams. Doors open on the left, change for our local bus connections. I hope that those cars get preserved now. It's those 1400s. Oh, I'm thinking that Jamal is the Silver Line or bus driver from Southampton. 18 years, so he got to drive the Neil plans. I'm guessing. Did he get a chance to drive the C40LFs? That would be interesting. I don't think Seashore will get another pair. I think other museums should look into getting those, or the T should restore them to have their own historical trains for events. I think the more events that the T has, the more trusted they can rebuild with the public. Yes. I think that would be a good idea. But they would have to do a lot of cosmetic restoration. But yeah, driving RTSs. I'm guessing because the wheelchair lifts will get stuck. I think the last RTS there ridden in Quincy, it was number 72. Those buses were sold. We have a 0072. So bus number 72 was the last RTS ridden in Quincy. The last RTS ridden ever was 309. Now we're approaching Quincy Center. This is where we'll be getting off. I had the whole train to myself. I think I remember bus number 64. I think I remember bus number 64. I think I have a picture of 375. The numbers were all over the place.
You don't need a vape.
Braintree Davis. Yeah, this is an ad wrap. I think. Alright, Road Line train now leaving. 15 series. NAFIS proclaims that these will be gone next month or now. Okay. That's what NAFIS again. Anyway, I was very, yeah. So MBT Neoplan DMA says he also hated carrying out the Titan Pulse and DMAs. Yeah, I can imagine them being so cumbersome. But yeah. Let's see. I can do that virtually in NAFIS. What else? We're gonna do a little bit of some bus family. 756 and 250. Yeah, so MBTA DMA. So he did drive the C40LFs. When did this operator get reassigned to Southampton Street? That'll be interesting. 2008. So right after he got his garage got new buses, he got transferred to another garage with older buses. At least he didn't have to drive the RTSs anymore. So I'm guessing he did drive the C40LFs. Yes. 6000 and 6001 did retire in 2014 because their CNG tanks were about to expire. What else? He driven the DMAs. Not nice. I see. I think the culture back there, the work culture back there wasn't that great, so that's why. And there's some C40LFs identical. No, C40LFs. We can just buy. There are still some in existence, but we do need to. We can just buy a blank one and do whatever we want to it. But anywho. But they're the engine specs. This thing doesn't have a Detroit Diesel Series 50 CNG engine in it. Yep, 6000 and 6001 has expired tanks. Not sure if a Seashore Trolley Museum does. I don't think they preserve CNG buses. And it's sad to believe that all 299 NABIs from the MBTA got scrapped. Every single one of them. All C4LFs. Those are over 300 buses right there. And you got most of the Arctics. You got 44 articulated buses scrapped. Not one preserved from that fleet, except 1,000. It's the lone survivor of the AN460LF CNG. Has no engine though, but it's better than it being scrapped. And we can always retrofit it at one point. I wonder what could be the next. So let's think, folks. What can be all right? How so you get to drive? So Jamal did drive the C4LFs. The brakes hurt. Ah yes, it's uncomfortable. I think I heard a lot of operators didn't like driving the RTSs. But what I'm thinking, so I'm guessing that Jamal likes the new buses now. You don't have to get out and take down the wires. You don't have to deal with dewirement. So did the DE60 LFRs replace 50 RTSs? No, they did not. The DE60 LFRs were there to increase service on the 28. So yes, he loves new buses. I think a lot of operators like the new buses. I think I spoke to one that drives around Quincy. He doesn't like the Neoplans AN4 40LFs. And he likes the rehabbed D40LFs more. Another operator from Quincy said that he's going to miss the D40LFs. So there was a series of buses that replaced the RTSs. Technically, since the RTSs from 1994 up until the early 2000s was the MBTA's primary bus, except for the electric trackless trolleys, which were the Flyer E800s. So it started with the NABI buses from Cabot and Arborway. Technically, Arborway operations were operated by Bartlett until it got changed over to Arborway, using the same space that the Green Lines used to store in. Cabot's was built in 1975. Yes, the NABIs replaced the oldest RTSs, the 1985 ones. Many were moved across the system until all of them were retired in 2007. Neoplans also replaced other parts of the. So the Neoplans. So let's pretend that we were back in 2004 and we assumed that Neoplan wasn't going to fold. So 260 some buses were going to replace the remaining 1989s. But when there were issues with Neoplan, the MBT and the contract ended at 193 buses. So MBT had to look for New Flyer to get to 210 buses. There's joint orders to replace any. I think the 2006s replaced or finished off any remaining 1989, 1980s RTSs, including the 30-foot ones. Then some 2008s came along and replaced some of the 0 Series 1995 RTSs. So some of the D40LFs did that. Then in 2000, the non-overhauled ones were all gone by 2007, I believe. And the worst conditions overhauled ones. Because they were probably rebuilt, the 1995 RTSs were probably rebuilt in 2004, 2005 by, guess who? Midwest Bus Corporation. Which has been a long partner for, now 20 years. Since 2004, Midwest has been rebuilding buses for the MBT. They rebuilt the RTSs, the NABIs, NABI select models. What else did they rebuild? D40LFs and now the XDE40s. And now, the only exception to them not being rebuilt is the DE60 LFRs, which were rebuilt by Northeast Bus Rebuilders. But anywho, by 2014, there were a handful of RTSs left. And around 2014, only few garages had RTSs. Neo plans to place all the RTSs at Albany and Fellsway, while they were left around somewhere in Lynn, others were in Quincy, and the rest, large majority of them, were at Charlestown. Then the 2008s came in to displace some of them. But then, now that the Cabot has the extra DE60 LFRs, that freed up availability on the 28 in 2010. Because remember, some 2008s were sent to Cabot, I think, for camera service in the 28s, but those got displaced by the D40. The DE60 LFRs later purchased, so now Cabot no longer needs a cover 28 because those buses are now covered by South Hinton Street. Now, starting in 2010, the buses still remain there. Some, I think, around that time, there could be some confusion. Around 2014, some were transferred to Charlestown due to the excess buses at Cabot, and others were held at Cabot. Then later, in 2014, the first Excelsiors came along and replaced another good chunk of the RTSs. And that means some 700s. No, I think it's 2014. That's when some of the 700 series of the 2006s got moved over to Lynn, and that in turn replaced the RTSs there. And then they gave some buses to us, gave some buses to Quincy. Actually, no. Hold on. The RTSs were at Spur and Quincy. Then around 2014, they retired them. But yeah, I think my OMZ2 Chrono List might tell a better story. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of this off the top of my head because it's starting to get foggy. But yeah, RTSs were withdrawn from service at Quincy around 2014, and then later that year. Then I think some buses were transferred to Lynn. There were some bus transfers, some D4LS. I think Quincy got more buses to supplement his fleet. Some more. Yeah, it's a bit foggy. Circa around that time, because I remember seeing 833 getting transferred to Quincy and say, "What? This 833 in Quincy? That's weird." Then history didn't tell itself. Then the RTSs, some of them were replaced in 2014. Then the last were replaced by 2017 by XS XDE40s from Cabot. Then the 1925 series came. Then yada yada yada. Then it's a long story. All right, let me read the chat. Yeah, about that Nafis. I think that could be a possibility. So Jamal says, "Don't laugh smart when I'm angry. I'm a high rater. Expected total. That was." Okay, high rater. Total inspector. That's interesting. Huh. Wow. Don't mess with that operator. Make sure you pay his fare on this bus. But yeah. Let's be nice to your employees. So yeah. That could be a possibility in Nafis. But yeah, it had evidence of RTSs running in Quincy. But yeah, 375 was probably the only RTS I'd taken a picture of. I knew that they were going to be retired, which I heard. And that's when I started to read the Roseline magazines. But yeah, 100. I think some had to be replaced by 2006 D4LFs. Oh, it's about the camera. The camera for the sale. Oh, that's good. Interesting. I have a photo. I'm not sure. I think they made some schedule adjustments. The adjustments were the justification. Just to keep in mind that some routes disappeared over the years. Just for a heads up. And service was reduced. So lots of things happen. So that's why the math is not mathing sometimes. It's quite interesting how the T has evolved. But yeah. Math is not mathing. And I cannot figure it out at this time, but I will do it another time. I think, but yeah, but NAFIS, I think some things to keep in mind. I believe that some buses were wrecked. Like, for example, bus number 270 was involved in a terrible accident where it went off the Charles River Bridge. So it's hard to say whether that bus has been accounted for by even anybody. So anything could replace it. But luckily, I was able to obtain the Roseland magazine from the year 1999. It told me the bus rosters from most garage. So the buses with the nice cushiony seats were assigned for express services. But keep in mind, the 500 existed. There were lots of other bus routes that existed. Like the 500 existed, 555 existed, and so many others. And all the 500 series ran to downtown Boston. Now that they don't do that anymore, that means they could use less buses. So I think that's what happened. So it's very, very complicated. But yeah, it may not make sense now, but here's to account for some vehicles were wrecked in accidents. Service was cut on multiple lines. And yeah, there's lots of other things to keep in mind. So I guess this is it for now. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a nice day. And see you in the next stream. Good night.